Welcome to this quick restorative yoga refresh. Sometimes we don't realize how exhausted we are. We are so go, go, go that we don't even realize it. Or sometimes we do realize it, and that nap that we take leaves us feeling groggy and unmotivated. So, this little quick restorative yoga practice is aimed to help. We will be using 2 blankets if you have them. If you don't, you can always use some towels, a couple blocks, and a bolster or a pillow. So anything that you have around that might help support us in this practice. We are going to start in a seat, and hopefully a seat that's comfortable for you. So I like to sit on a blanket, just helping my hips get a little higher here. And we're going to start with a little check-in. I invite you, once you find your seat, to close your eyes, feeling grounded in your sitting bones, lengthening through your spine, shoulders away from your ears, and just start to notice. Notice your body, if there's any areas of tightness or tension, or any areas that feel open and good. Notice your breath. Is it long? Is it short? Is it deep? Is it shallow? And notice your mind. If it's pretty empty right now, or maybe there's a lot going on in there. Without judgment, just noticing in these first few moments. And if there is anything gnawing at your mind right now that you have to do or something on your list, go ahead and take a moment to write it down now. That way it's out of your mind, you can set it aside, and you can just be here on your mat. Take a deep breath in through your nose all the way to your belly. Open up your mouth and exhale, sigh your breath out. Deep breath in through your nose, expanding through the rib cage, the chest. Open up your mouth and exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhaling as deep as we ever have today. Expanding as much as we can. And exhale, release everything that we're holding on to. Any stress, worries, tension, let it go. And now bringing our awareness to our left kneecap. Maybe just being aware that it's there, or perhaps visualizing what it looks like in your mind. Just bringing your attention and your awareness to your left kneecap. And then start to imagine a line drawing from your kneecap all the way down to the earth. Maybe it's a string, maybe it's just a line of energy. And this line is grounding your left kneecap, grounding you to the earth. Now, bring your awareness to your right kneecap. Become aware of its presence, perhaps visualizing what it might look like in your mind. And then draw a line from your kneecap all the way down to the earth, rooting you, grounding you. Now, bring your awareness to the crown of your head, becoming aware of its presence, any sensations, perhaps what it looks like. And now, taking a line from the crown of your head all the way down to the earth, imagining a string or an energetic line, grounding you, tethering you to this space. And perhaps becoming aware of all 3 lines. A line from your left kneecap, right kneecap and the crown of your head, all three of them centering you, grounding you right here and now. I invite you to slowly open up your eyes, and we'll come to our first pose. So if we're not already, go ahead and sit on a blanket. I like to have mine angled here. And we're going to use all of our props. If we have 3 blankets, 3 is really good. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together in this butterfly position, and wherever your heels land, push them out a little farther away. Take either some blankets, some pillows underneath your thighs, your hips, to help support our legs. And then we'll take a bolster or a pillow in front of us, and maybe some blocks or anything else that you might have. So we're going to come into this fold here, but I want our forehead to be resting on something. It can be in the palm of your hand, it can be on a block, it can be on some arms. So just take a few moments here to set up. If anything doesn't feel comfortable, move the props, reposition them differently, add more in. And then once we have found our spots, go ahead and lean forward. We don't have to go far here, so there shouldn't be much of a stretch in this pose. Our muscles should be allowed to completely relax here and be at ease. The props are hopefully supporting us completely, and our muscles can just rest. Let your shoulders hang heavy. Release any tension there. Releasing any tension from your low back. Releasing any tension from your hips. And doing a quick scan from head to toe. Seeing if there's any areas that are still holding on to tension, or maybe areas of our bodies that are gripping, holding ourselves up. And if there are, go ahead and release them. Kind of like a rag doll, just let it go. Allow gravity to take over and be fully supported by these props. Allowing our forehead to press. And notice your breath. Observing our breath, how our body is feeling, and anything that may or may not be going on in our minds. We're just noticing without judgment and giving this time for our body to rest. Sometimes the first pose is the hardest pose to find stillness and quiet. If you are finding the stillness loud at this moment, feel free to turn on some background music, some white noise, nature sounds, anything in the background that might help you find a bit more calm. If you notice any tension in the jaws, exhale, see if you can let that go. Perhaps you give your jaw a little wiggle and let your forehead smooth over. Allowing your body to surrender completely to this pose where we don't have to strive towards anything. We can just be in this moment. Begin to deepen your breath. And when you're ready, slowly begin to roll yourselves back up, moving our props off to the side. And we'll take our bolster or our pillow, take it to the side of our mat. Keep these blankets around, keep them handy. And we'll start to lower all the way down to the mat. Having the bolster on the right side, we're going to twist and turn ourselves all the way over onto the right so that the knees stack on top of each other, ankles stack, and arms stack. And once we're here, we're going to open up our left arm to the side into this twist. Now take a few moments to set up here. Maybe we have a blanket in between the knees. If our shoulder is lifting, go ahead and take a blanket underneath for some support. And let's take a blanket to this side of us anyway, to the left side, and wedge it in between our hips and our back, just for some extra support here. Arms can be bent or they can be open like a T. Eyes can be facing towards the ceiling or towards past your left shoulder. Making any final adjustments before we settle in. And we'll take a deep breath in through the nose all the way to our belly, expanding. Open up your mouth and exhale, sigh it out. Allowing your bodies to rest completely here. Letting gravity take over. And doing a scan from head to toe. See if our muscles are gripping anywhere, if they're trying to hold us up. And on your next exhale, let them go. Allowing our face to relax. And just be here in this moment with your breath. observing whatever may or may not be happening without judgment, observing with curiosity any sensations that may be arising in our bodies, anything that might be happening in our minds. Just notice. Begin to deepen your breath. Slowly bringing your knees back to center. And you can stay here in stillness for a moment. Or if you'd like to bring in some movement, we can bring our knees from side to side. And then when you're ready, we'll come to this on the opposite side. Taking your bolster or pillow to the left side. And your blanket to the right. Rolling all the way onto the left side. Letting knees and ankles stack on top of each other. And then once you're here, Rolling our right arm open, and take this blanket and wedge it in between our hips and our back, just to help us feel a little bit more supported and cozy. Adding in any other props that we might want, whether it's something under our head or our shoulders. And then we'll start to settle into the second side. Take a deep inhale through our nose all the way to our bellies, expanding. Open up your mouth and exhale, sigh your breath out. Noticing if there's any areas of grippiness or tightness on this side. And if there is, see if we can mentally release that, or if we need to reposition ourselves. If you do find your mind is wandering, bring your awareness back to your breath. Any thoughts or emotions that are popping into our minds, honor them, acknowledge them, and then refocus back to your breath, to a physical sensation. The breath is our anchor to the present moment. And begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to bring our knees back to center. And stay here a few moments in stillness, or invite in some gentle movement from side to side. Our next and our final pose will be on the wall. So hopefully we have some wall space around. And always options for blankets here. So we're going to do legs up the wall, and it's never pretty to get into. If we have one hip close to the wall, just going to lean on our forearms and slowly bring our legs up to the wall. Hips do not have to touch the wall at all. And if we have this blanket behind us, we can give ourselves a neck roll to help support our necks. So what we're going to do is just roll it up to fill the space in between our neck and the floor, and then overfill it just slightly so that our neck tilts ever so slightly back. If we have a second blanket, we can cover up with one. Hands can be on our bellies or by our sides. And making any final adjustments before we settle into this final pose. Letting gravity completely take over here. Letting go of the striving, the trying to be somewhere or to do something. Just being present in this moment. Observing our bodies, any sensations. Observing our minds, anything that might be popping up or anything that's not popping up. And noticing our breath. Being aware of what's happening in this moment with curiosity, with non-judgment. And I'll bring you out of this Shavasana shortly. feel free to stay in this pose a little bit longer if you need it. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath. Slowly bending your knees, bringing them into your chest for a nice big hug, maybe rocking from side to side. And when you're ready, we'll roll onto the right side of our bodies because we're trying to create some energy here and refresh. Take these few final breaths. Thanking yourselves for taking the time out of your day to be here to rest and to refresh. And with as little effort as possible, slowly coming to a seat. And before we end completely, I do have a breath that will hopefully get us ready for the rest of our day, whatever it may hold. And it'll look like 3 quick breaths through the nose and then 1 long exhale through the mouth. And we'll do that just a few times. Inhaling 3 times through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Couple more times. Two more. And one more. Returning to our natural breath. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helped you to refresh, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.